In this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step checklist that's going to help you to get your Skool community set up fast. And I'm also going to share with you our community funnel framework that's going to help you to automate the process of turning members into clients. And if you'd like to get a copy of the community setup checklist that I'm going to be walking through in this video, then I'll drop a link in the description so you can get access to that. Now let's head over to the computer and let's set up your Skool community. Now, like I said earlier, to help us set up our Skool community, I've developed a Skool community setup checklist. It's literally going to take you step by step through this entire process. Again, if you'd like to get a copy of this document, then click the link in the description. You can join our community and this will be sent to your inbox. So the first thing I would do once I got this document is I would go through this entire document and I would fill it out, complete it. We've given you some suggestions. We've given you some plug and play templates that you can use, but go ahead and go through this entire document, fill it out, and then you'll just be ready to move everything over. Now, we did this ahead of time. It took us maybe 30 minutes to fill this thing out, and then we're ready to actually build our Skool community. And we're going to walk through these different sections so you understand how they work. So download the document, watch the video, and then fill that document out. Also, so the first thing that we need to do is when you get this document, if you click on this link, if you have not created your Skool community yet, then if you use our affiliate link, we'd be highly grateful. You don't have to, but if you do, we will actually jump on in a 60-minute call with you and we will help you to set this Skool community up. So if you're looking to start your own community and you want to move fast, use our affiliate link and we'll jump on an hour-long call with you and help you get your community set up using this document. So I'm going to drop the link in the description so you can use that if you want. And then once you've created your account, send me a DM letting me know and we'll set up that setup call. Okay. Now, once you actually go to the sign up page, what we need to do is we need to actually name your community. So I'm going to call this one Community Builders Accelerator. And then I'm going to put in my card information and I'm going to pause the video. I'll be right back. All right. So now we've signed up. We've put our credit card in. We've named our community. The next thing that I want to do is I want to add a cover photo and an icon image. We actually have some graphic templates that you can use. These are Canva templates, so you can actually click on this link and you can use our templates. I've already created this ahead of time, so I'm going to go back to the community. I'm going to go to settings, I'm going to go to general, and then I'm going to change the icon. So I'm going to change this to this icon, and then I'm going to also change the cover image. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to change the cover image, and then I'm going to give a group description. So once I've got that in there, I'm going to go back to my document that I filled out earlier, and I'm going to copy my community description, which is here, and I'm going to head back to the community. I'm going to paste that in, and then once that is in there, we can choose whether we want to make this private. Only members can see who's in the group and what they post. Content is hidden from the search engines. Public is anyone who sees who's in the group and what they post. Content is discoverable by search engines. I always make mine private. This is a personal choice. If you really want to, make all your content public, you surely can do that. But I'm going to go ahead, leave it like it is. I'm going to update settings. All right, so let's just continue to move through our checklist. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up categories. We've given you some examples here, and these are the ones that we use in our community. Feel free to edit these, delete them as you may, and then use the ones that you want to use in your community. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my community. I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to categories and rules, and then I'm just going to start creating these categories. The first one I'm going to add is the announcements. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, go back to my community. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to grab the description here, and then I'm going to paste that in. I'll do a couple more of these and then I'll pause the video and create the rest of them. So this is going to be anyone can post, anyone can view. I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to say introduce yourself. Okay, so these are for introductions when people come in the community. So I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to grab the description here. And the thing if you see these little asterisks here, that's just explaining what the benefit of this is. So I'm going to grab just the description here. Just use the description. Don't use the thing after the asterisks. I'm going to paste that in. This is going to be anyone can post, anyone can view. And then I'll just create the next one, ask a question. Okay, and then I'm going to add that category, paste the name in, and I'm going to go back and get my description. I'm not going to copy the asterisks, remember? And then I'm going to paste that in, and that's going to be anyone. And the ones that you want to just make for admin only, I will actually edit this document. So it's going to be events and it's going to be member spotlights. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add all these additional categories. I'll be right back when I pause the video. All right, so now we've added all of our categories from our setup document. If I close this out, you can now, let me refresh the page. You should be able to see all these categories at the top here. And so these are, people can click on these and they can see the different posts in each of these categories. All right, so so let's continue. The next thing that we're going to set up is our membership questions. We have edited this ahead of time. Again, we have a template here that you can use. Don't have to use these, but these work pretty well and they're pretty standard. So I'm going to set our community membership questions up. So I'm going to go to the community, I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to plugins, and then the membership questions is the top one here. I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to add my first question. So then I'm going to grab my question here. So what's the number one challenge you're having around launching your community? All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to paste that in. It's going to be a text box. You can also use multiple choice or email address. I'm just going to use text box. I'm going to click add. Next question. I'm going to add another question here. And then I'm going to grab my second question. What's the best email for exclusive community builder updates? All right. And you can make this a little bit sexier to make them actually want to put their email address in, but this actually works pretty good for us. So I'm going to select email address for this one. I'm going to click add, and then I'm going to add our last question here. Grab this, and this is going to be for phone number. So phone number for exclusive community builder call updates. So I'm going to go back, paste this in, and again, this is going to be a text box. And these are great because we are collecting the email address. Definitely need to collect the email address so we can push that into our CRM and we can nurture our members using email. And we're using that in our system. We have GoHighLevel. We push the email into GoHighLevel into a workflow that nurtures those people and tries to book calls, which is one of our goals with our community. Okay. Next thing that we do, we also like to grab the phone number because we have a SMS workflow in GoHighLevel as well that's following up to try to book calls as well. And both of these are producing phone calls. So those are our three questions. That's setting up your membership questions. Let's move on to the next step. All right, so now let's go back to the remaining plugins. So we'll talk about these other plugins here in just a second. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to set up our auto DM. And so we have a template for that. But before we do that, I wanted to discuss your call positioning because it's going to be very important. If your sales mechanism is that you get your members to book a call with you so that you can convert them into clients, how you position that call is huge. So actually, let me walk you through ours real quick and so you can see how this works. And we have a plug and play template inside of the document that you can use. And let's walk through this just a second. And it's basically exactly how we've structured ours. So the first thing that we say is we state the goal of the community. So the goal here inside of Community Builders is to help you get your community launched and get your first 100 members. So everything we do inside of our free community is to help them get their community launched and get their first 100 members. So the fastest way to do that is to, or reach your goal, is to book your free community launch call. So we've aligned the goal of the community with what we name this call. So if you can do that, great. It's going to make a lot more sense. It's going to be very aligned. Okay. Next thing that we say is this is not a sales call. It is not a sales call. It's a value-driven call. And typically, if we give so much value, people want to know how they can work with us. So it's an easy transition to the sales call. Next, and this is really the driver of the value, these three steps. So the way I think about this is what are the questions or roadblocks that people are going to have along the way that's going to keep them from being successful with their whatever you're doing for them. Okay. So for us, again, we're trying to help people launch their community and get their first 100 members. So the first thing they're going to do, the first obstacle is getting their community set up. So step one, we're going to actually walk you through our community setup checklist so you can get your community set up and running in just 10 minutes. So I basically just show them the document that we're going through today in this video, and then that's what we do for that. Okay. And we give them that document. Super valuable. This video is super valuable to help them set it up. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to map out your free course, aka your lead magnet, so you can start growing your members today. So after they've set up their community, they're going to wonder, the question's going to come up, and you need to think about these questions in order. Is, okay, great, I've got my community set up, but how do I actually get people to join my community? And that comes from the lead magnets that you create and the call to actions you have to drive people into the community. All right, so now once I have my community set up, once I have my lead magnet that's going to attract people into the community, how do I actually drive traffic to the community? So that's kind of the next question that's going to come up. So step number 3 is we're actually going to give you a traffic strategy that you can implement right now to get your first 100 members. So those 3 steps really drives this call value. Okay, so the call positioning here is super important. I literally think that people would pay for this call if we started charging for it. And then we add a little bit of scarcity urgency at the end. Don't wait. This onboarding call is the absolute fastest way to get your community launched and add your first 100 members. We only have limited spots available, so book your call right now before they run out. out. Okay, so then we have the link to book the call here. And again, we're using tracking links, so we know that this is actually booking calls. So again, the way you position this is very, very important. And once you have your positioning down, you can start using this for the auto DM, or a version of this for the auto DM template. And you can also use this, a version of this, in your call to actions on your standard posts and also in your course material. So that is very key. Go ahead and create the positioning for your call. And again, we have a plug and play template for you to do that. Once you have that, we also have a plug and play template that you can use to create a version for that for your automated DM. And we know that this works because this is ours, and we know that this works because we are actually tracking where our calls are being booked from, and automated DM is one of our best sources. Okay, so we know this template works really, really well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go grab the one that I've created ahead of time. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go to my community and I'm going to set this up. So in the plugins and under settings, let me just go back. Let me go to settings and then plugins. And if we go to auto DM new members, I'm going to click edit, and then I'm going to turn this on, and then we can choose who this is coming from. So if you have other admins in your community, you can choose any admin here. The way that we do it in our community, I like to keep my position of authority. So I don't want to be the one sending the DM to try to book a call. I have an appointment setter, also a partner, that actually reaches out and books the calls with them with this DM. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to paste this message in, and you can use the custom values down here available if you want, or you can just type the stuff in. You have 300 characters that you can use. I've got mine within that 300 characters. You might have to trim yours down. And then I'm going to hit save, and now our automated DM is set up. And now when new members come in, they're going to receive this automated DM within 1 to 5 minutes of joining your community. So that is auto DM new members. Now let me go back to the plugins. All right, before we move on, I want to walk through all the remaining settings here over here on the left hand side so you know what's available. So the first thing that I want to look at is the dashboard. So this is where you're going to get a bird's eye view of how your community is performing. So the first thing up here is your subscriptions. So if you have a paid community, you can see how many paid members you have. You can see how much monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, is being generated from those paid community members. And you can also see your churn rate. So this is the percentage of members that have canceled in the past 30 days. All right, so that is your subscriptions. The next little section here is traffic, and this is going to be for the last 7 days. So you can see how many people have visited your About Us page. You can see how many people signed up as a result of visiting your About Us page, and then you can see your conversion rate. Okay, so that is basically the number of signups divided by the visitors, and that's going to give you your conversion rate. The next thing that you're going to see at the bottom here is other, and the first one is course sales. So inside of your community classroom, you can actually lock courses and make them where people have to purchase those courses to unlock them. So this is going to show you how much revenue you have generated for your paid courses, from your paid courses. The next is going to be your trials. So inside of Skool, when you set up your paid community, you have the ability to turn on the 7-day trial feature. And so this is going to tell you how many trials are currently in progress. And then this is going to say how many of those trials have converted, or how many of your previous trials have converted, so you can see how effective your trial process is. So that's the dashboard. All right, so next is payouts. If you have a paid community, this is where you're going to come in, you're going to track your upcoming payments that will automatically be added to your attached bank account. So if you click on this little question mark here, you can see that we pay out your available balance every Wednesday. So every Wednesday you're going to get a payment into your bank account. Pending, which is we'll show you in just a second, is your balance that hasn't yet settled. So this is the transactions that are part of your balance that actually haven't come into your Stripe account yet. So transactions take 7 to 14 days to settle. So when you get somebody joins your community, it's going to take 7 to 14 days for that transaction to actually settle. So payouts are direct to your bank account that you set up with the system. So when you first create your Skool account, you're going to need to set up a Stripe account and also attach your bank account. And so the Stripe account is going to be the payment merchant processor, and then it's going to send that money into your bank account once it's actually settled. So this is going to show you the total balance owed to you. This is going to tell you how much the next payout is within the next 7 days, and so, or whenever that next Wednesday is. And then this is going to show you how many or how much of this balance has not settled yet. Okay, so that is payouts. All right, so the next setting is invite. Okay, so this is how you're going to invite people to your community. So there's a few different options for inviting people to your community. The first one is the link here, so you can just click this copy button and then you can send that link to whoever you want to. You can send an email, you can send it on social media, however you want to invite people into your community, you can use that here. Also, you can use it in your call to actions on your different traffic channels. The next way to invite people to your community is to send them via email. If you have their email address, you can paste it in here, and then this will, once you've pasted the email address in here, this button will turn orange. And then you can also select, once you have courses set up in your community, you can click this little hyperlink here and you can add all the different courses that you want to give that person access to. The next way to invite people to your community is if you have built an email list over time, you can download that email list and put it into a CSV file format, and then you can click this import button and you can import that CSV file and invite those people in that list to your community. And then the final way is you can automate inviting people to your community with a Zapier integration. I'll give you an example of how I used to do this. So we used to teach Facebook groups, and we had membership questions when somebody would join our Facebook group, and one of the things that we asked them is their email address. So when we captured that email address, we set up a Zap that would actually invite people to our Skool community. And when I first started my community, that's how I was growing my community. So that's one use case of how you can use the Zapier integration to invite people to your community. All right, so next is the general settings. This is basically, we went through this earlier, but this is basically where you're going to set up your branding. So you can create an icon image and add it here. You can add your cover image here, your group name, so you can change that if you need to. You can add a group description. You can change your initials or your color here. You can make it public or private. So we went over that earlier, so you're good there. Next one is custom URL. So this is where you can come in and you can create a vanity URL. You have 30 characters to do that with. And so if I was going to do that, I would just delete these last little characters here. And now I have a perfectly good looking vanity URL that I can now share with people to invite them to our community. And then you just click claim URL. You would need to upgrade to your paid monthly to actually go ahead and claim that. So you can just wait for your trial to end before you do that, or you can go ahead and upgrade. All right, so the next tab is pricing. So this community setup checklist is mostly geared around helping you set up your free community funnel. So you're by default going to have a free community set up as your current price. But if you wanted, you can actually come in here and you can add a current price. So you would add a price if you wanted to create a paid community. You also have the option of turning your 7-day trial on or keeping that off. And then once you click add price, it's going to prompt you to connect your bank account, and then you would just click continue. You would click check Stripe account, and then it's going to take you through a process of setting up a Stripe account and connecting your bank account. I'm not going to go through that entire process, but it's pretty straightforward. All right, so next is categories and rules. We added your categories earlier, but you also have the ability to add rules down here. You know, don't spam, no self-promotion, those kind of things. I just kind of keep these standard, but if you wanted to add some additional rules, you could, or you can edit the ones that are already in there. Next is tabs. And so we can actually toggle on the classroom on and off. So if you don't have any courses or you don't plan on having any courses, I would suggest having some in there. But if you don't, you can just toggle that on or off, and that would not show the tab for classroom at the top here. So let me go back to settings, and then let me go to tabs. And you can also do the same thing with calendar. So if you see calendar here now, I'm going to go back to settings. I'm going to go to category or tabs, and then I'm going to toggle that off, and now you'll see that I don't have the calendar up here and I don't have classroom up here. So that is tabs. So let me turn both of those back on because I want both of those. All right, so next one is plugins. We already talked about the membership questions and set those up. The Zapier integration you can actually turn on to be able to automate inviting members or unlocking courses and sending membership questions into your CRM system, okay? The next one is webhook. This is going to allow you to use a webhook to invite members to your community. If you wanted to do that, like I talked about earlier when people were joining our Facebook group and we automatically invited them into our Skool community. The next one is auto DM, which we already went over and set up. Unlock chat at level 2 or level 3. This allows you to lock the chat feature between members in your community until they reach either level 2 or level 3. And as an admin, I believe you still have the ability to chat with anybody at level 1. It's just the people that are in your community. They can't chat with each other. The next one is unlocking posting at level 2 or level 3. So this allows you to lock posting inside of your community until they reach that certain level that you choose. Next is meta pixel tracking. So this is where you're going to be able to set up your meta pixel so that you can track conversions if you start running ads. And you can also build custom audiences from the people that land on your pages or convert into free members. So I highly suggest you go ahead and get this set up, even if you don't plan on running ads for a while, because it's good to start to build those, the pixel, train the pixel, but also to start to build your custom audiences. Same thing with Google Ads tracking. So this is for setting up your tracking for Google and YouTube ads. So go ahead, get that set up, go ahead and start building your custom audiences and tracking everything. And there's videos in both of these that show you exactly how to set up these, and it's pretty easy. And then the final one is instant membership approval. So instant membership approvals you can toggle on if you want to review, if you don't want to have to review the membership request and you just want to automatically let everybody in. I don't do that because there are some spammers inside of schools, so I wouldn't turn that one on personally. All right, so metrics is the next setting. So this is going to be tracking 3 different metrics over the past 30 days. The first is going to be total members, so you can see your membership growth over time. The next one is going to be active members, so you can see how many members are actually logging into Skool and opening up your community. This does not mean engagement, doesn't mean likes or comments or any of that. It's just strictly they're logging into Skool and they're opening a tab with your community in it. The next one is daily activity, and this is going to be where you're actually tracking the number of, if we click on this, no activities, you can see this is going to track the number of likes, comments, and engagement inside of your community. So it's not going to tell you the members, but it's going to tell you the number here. So that is metrics. The next is gamification. We're going to go over this in a little bit, but this is how you set up your gamification for your community so that when people engage in your community, you can unlock different levels and they can receive different rewards. The next is going to be discovery, and this is where you can see if your community meets the minimum requirements to show up in Skool's discovery feature, and you can see which category you're going to show up in, and then you can also see your rank. So to show in discovery, your group needs to meet the minimum threshold of members, posts, and activity to show in discovery. You also need a good description, a good About Us page description, good group cover image, some photos and videos on your About Us page, so go ahead and do that. And then your discovery rank, groups are ranked by engagement using an algorithm that looks at member growth, member activity, posts, comments, and likes. The more engaged your group is, the higher you will rank. So basically your discovery rank is based off of your engagement. You have to have these parameters set up, and if the category is wrong, once that actually shows up, then you can contact support here. So that is discovery. Links is where you can add different links to your side panel here. So if I click out of this, your links are going to show up here. So you can link to your booking page, you can link to your Start Here course, which will show you how to set up shortly, and you can link to just really whatever you want by going into the settings here into the links area. All right, so the final setting is billing and affiliates. So this is where you can come in, you can manage your subscription, or you can update your payment method for that $99 a month community that you've started. Also, you can become an affiliate for Skool. So when you refer somebody to Skool using your affiliate link and they join and they create their own community, you're going to get paid 40% every single month on that $99. Okay, so to do that, what you would do is you would come in here and copy the URL of the affiliate link, and then you just send that to anybody that you think might sign up for Skool. If you get a couple of those, you're basically paying for your $99 a month subscription. And so once you've set that up, once you've started inviting people and they're starting to sign up, you can click on See Your Referrals, and you can see all of your payouts for lifetime over the next 7 days, and then anyone that are actually ready to be sent to your bank account. So that's all the settings. Now let's move on to the next step in the setup process. The next thing I like to do when creating a new Skool community is to create 3 strategic initial posts, which we're going to pin to the top of the community feed. And so each one of these posts is very strategic to both teach or train new members to engage inside the community, but also to try to book phone calls, which is our goal. Okay, so let's walk through each of these pinned posts and let's then set them up. Okay, inside of your checklist, you're going to have plug and play documents or plug and play templates that you can use to create these posts. But let's walk through them. So the first one we talked about earlier, this is your call positioning post. So this is going to be your book a call post. And then the next one is going to be a where are you at poll. So this is basically to survey your members to see where they are in their journey as it relates to what your community is about, and then help them to start help you to start more personalized conversations in the DMs based off how they answered this poll. And so that's going to help you to offer personalized help, and it's going to help you to transition that call, that conversation into a booked call. You're also training them to engage in the community with this post, because you should be using polls in your community to keep your members engaged, and so we want to train that behavior. And then the final post that we're going to set up is the start here post. And basically what we're doing with this post is we're just asking them to introduce themselves to the rest of the community, and then quickly explaining that by doing this, by creating this introduction post, they're going to get some quick points towards leveling up inside the community and unlocking these really cool rewards that you have set up and in place. And so we're going to discuss that in a second, but we're also going to make it super easy for them to create this introduction post, because when new members are first coming into your community, we got to make it super easy for them to engage. So we've actually created a little template that they can use, plug and play template that they can use to create their introduction post and make that super easy for them. So let's actually take these pinned posts once you've created them, and let's set them up in the community and pin them to the top. And I've created this in the order that you need to actually set these posts up and pin them. So let's go through this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our book a call post. I'm just going to copy it here. I'm going to head over to my community. I'm going to click on write something. I'm going to paste that in. Got to add in our spaces here. All right. And then once we've got those spaces in there, we need to add the title. So let me go back and grab my title here. I'm going to copy that, head back to the community, paste that in, and you can add a little GIF here if you'd like. So let's say launch. So our community called launch call, so I'm just going to grab that one really easily. We're going to select a category, which is just going to be announcements, and then I'm going to post that. Once you've posted it, you can click the little three dots here, and you can pin it to the feed. Okay, so that's our first post, and this is one's going to be trying to book a call. Next one is going to be our poll post, and so I'm going to grab the copy here, and you can see that the copy for this post, let me actually paste it into the post here. I'm going to click write something again, paste that in, add our little lines here, and then this is a poll, so we need to click on this little add poll icon here, and then we can grab our different options for the poll choices. I'm going to grab my first one here, paste that in. I'm going to grab the next one, paste that in, and then I'm going to grab the next one, paste that in, add one more option. All right, grab that, paste that in, and then we need our title. So I'm going to grab my title here, and then we can add another GIF if we'd like. So vote. I'm just going to grab this one. And then you can see now that all of our other posts, we can add this little call to action to book a call also if we want that to be the main call to action. So that's going to be our second post. I'm going to add a category. I'm going to ask a question for that one, and I'm going to post it. And then once we've posted it, we can click the three dots. We can pin it to the feed. And this is going to be the order you want them in. That's why I'm putting them in the document this way. And then our final post is going to be the start here post, which we want at the top. So I'm going to go ahead, just go ahead and grab the title for this one, and I'm going to go write something, paste in my title, and then I'm going to grab the rest of the copy here, and then I'm going to paste that in. We'll add, the spaces already added there, so that's good. Add a couple more spaces here, space that out a little bit. We'll add a GIF, so start, I'm just going to grab this one, and then we're going to make an announcement for this one. We'll post it. And then once it's posted, we'll click the three dots and we'll pin to the feed. And now you can see that these are in the order that I want them. I want them to see the start here as the first post. I want them to do the poll next, and then I want them to book a call next. It's kind of like a little funnel here. Okay, so that is the pinned post. Let's move on to the next step. All right, now let's talk about gamification and rewards. I'm just going to keep this pretty high level on this video. I actually have a separate video that goes way more in depth on Skool gamification, so I'll drop that link in the description so you can check that out. Now, to set up your gamification, you're actually going to go into settings. You can do it a couple of places. You can go into settings and then gamification. Or you can go to the leaderboard here and you can click on the little gear here, and that's going to take you to gamification. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to set up your level name. So there's 9 levels, and obviously the higher the level, the more prestigious the name should be. And I've actually added a ChatGPT prompt that you can use. You can use it with ChatGPT or you can use it with Claude in the community setup document. So if you need help naming those levels, you can use this actual prompt to help brainstorm and come up with the levels. So once you've actually added your level names, you can then set up the rewards that can be unlocked once members accumulate enough points to reach the level you assign the rewards to. I'll give you a few reward ideas down here at the bottom. So we have reward ideas for the free community, this is kind of what we're setting up here. And then you also have some ideas for the paid community reward ideas. And again, I've got a whole video that goes way more in depth on gamification that I'm going to drop the link in the description where you can watch that Skool gamification video. All right, so next thing we want to do is we want to set up your community classroom. So to do that, I'm going to click on the classroom tab, and then I'm just going to create a placeholder for your free course here. So if you don't have this yet, just create a little placeholder and you can add it later. And you can turn it from published to draft. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it published so I can grab the link, but I'm gonna go ahead and add that. And then I'm gonna go back to the classroom. Again, that's just a placeholder. And I'm gonna create a Start Here course. So I like to initially set up a minimum Start Here course in the classroom area. This is gonna help you to share your mission with your members. It's gonna share the goal of the community, explain how gamification works and what types of rewards they can win so that they'll actually wanna engage. It's going to get them to download the mobile app and pin your community to their feed so that they are more likely to see your posts. And it's going to get them to take some little micro commitments that's going to help you to train them to engage inside of your community. So inside of the community setup guide that you're going to download, we actually give you some lessons, some recommended lessons to create your Start Here course and some templates for creating the lessons inside of that course. So let's go ahead and set up a few of these lessons and show you how to do it. And then I'll pause the video and I'll set up the rest of the ones, and then we'll talk about what to do next. Okay, so I'm going to go to the course area. I'm going to call this our Start Here course. So to do that, I'm going to grab my title here for my Start Here course. And then I'm going to paste that in, and then I'm going to grab the description of the course, okay? And then I'm going to paste that in, and then this is going to be open to all members. We want all members to have access to our Start Here course. I would create a cover image for this. I didn't take the time to do that, and go ahead and change that and upload your cover image here. And then once you've done that, you're going to click add, and that's going to create your Start Here course. Now, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be clicking on adding pages for all of our different lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and add another page. I'm going to add another page. I believe we've got 5 total lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and add all of my pages here. And then we're going to go to the top page here. I'm going to click the little pencil, and then we're going to add our first lesson. So I'm going to go back to our checklist here. I'm going to grab the first lesson title, and then that's going to be what I'm going to be pasting in is this bold type here at the top. And then once you've added your title, you can hit enter, and then you can paste in the rest of the copy. So I'm going to grab the rest of the copy here, and you can see that in this copy, we actually have a call to action to book a call, and their action step is to book the community launch call. Again, we have that call positioning here, or a version of that call positioning. And so every one of our lessons, we want to have some sort of call to action to try to get them to book a call, okay? So this is basically the first lesson. You can also add a video here to kind of talk about the mission of the community, what to expect. You can walk them through some of the courses and stuff here, and that's going to give them a lay of the land of the community, and that's your first lesson. So to add a video, what you would do is just make a little space between the title and the copy, and then you can click on this icon here, this video icon, and you'll need to either upload a video to YouTube, Vimeo, Loom, or Wistia, and drop the link in here and then add it, and that will add the video to your lesson. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Let me create one more lesson so you can kind of see how I do it. We've created the page already, so I'm going to click on that page, Then I'm going to click the pencil here, and then I'm going to go back to my document, and I'm going to grab the title of the next page or the next lesson, and I'm going to paste that in, and then I'm going to grab the copy below. And this is essentially just telling them about how gamification works, also letting them know what kind of rewards they can expect at each level, and giving them a first micro commitment, micro step to help them get those points and unlock level 2. So it's going to show them to introduce themselves in the community. It's going to get them to comment on 3 other people's introduction posts. It's going to get them to like those people's comments of people that are commenting on your post or other people's posts. And then also, again, that call to action to book a call. So I'm going to paste in that copy here. Again, you can add a video here if you'd like. I'm going to click save. Now I'm going to pause the other video and create these other lessons, but let me quickly walk you through each one of these lessons. So the next lesson is going to be to get them to download the Skool app. We've got links to the Apple Store app, and we've also got the one to the Google Play. Again, we're having that call to action to book a call on every single lesson. The other thing is to show them how to pin the community to the feed. So inside of Skool, you can pin your favorite communities over here on the side. And so we're showing him how to do that for your community with that next lesson. And then the final lesson is to get them to start the training. That's why we created that first little placeholder, so that we could link to that start here to the next course once it's live, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pause the video, I'm gonna set up these lessons, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so the final step of setting up your Skool community is to edit your About Us page. So inside of the community setup checklist, if you go all the way to the last section here in the document, you can see that we have a plug and play template for your About Us page copy, okay? So you can actually come in, you can fill out these little yellow highlighted sections, and that's gonna help you to create the copy for your About Us page really, really quickly. I've already done that, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab mine here. I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna head over to my community, I'm gonna go to the About tab, and then I'm gonna come in and you can come into the description here. I'm just going to select all and just paste that in there. And then that is the copy of the About Us page. And then above here, you can click on this and you can add images. You can also add links from YouTube, Vimeo, Loom, or Wistia. So a couple of things that I might recommend adding here are a video walkthrough of your community showing people exactly what they're going to get when they join the community, show them the different courses in the community, the different rewards that they can unlock. And then also you can add testimonial screenshots or videos that are great to add to your About Us page because they show social proof and results that people can achieve as a result of joining your community. So again, if you want to get access to this entire document that we just walked through step by step, that's going to show you exactly how to set up your community step by step, then click on the link in the description. You can join our community. Once you join, you're going to get this document sent to your inbox. So go ahead, click the link, join our community, and we'll see you inside.